What's going on, dude? Glad to talk to you. So we checked in through text, and you let me know that you had some pretty incredible results for the consecutive quarters back to back after we worked. Why don't we take a step back and just go to the point in time when we first met? What led you to come to work with me?
Yeah, good to be here, Michael. I definitely appreciate that. So for the audience that's listening into this, the reason why I had reached out to Michael was I found him on Twitter. I took a look into his resume, saw that he was a professional opera singer, had then went to his YouTube channel, listened to his voice, saw some of the other testimonials that were there, and I thought this could be a great opportunity for myself to go work with him. Now, the rationale for why I wanted to go work with him was I'm a lot younger than my peer set that's at an enterprise sales role in the SaaS space. And one of the issues that sometimes comes with that territory is that when people see you on camera or they're listening to you, they go, this person's just a little bit too junior. I don't really trust them. Now, there's granted in this remote work environment too, you can have your camera off. And so then it just becomes your voice, your vibe, etc., right? That they're going to have to trust and they have this mental image of you in their head. But also with enterprise sales, one of the more important things too is you do have to go on site. Now, I commend myself, think I'm a charismatic person. I can get along with a lot of folks in person as well. I've been doing that for several different years, but one of my concerns was that sometimes when I'm presenting or speaking to folks, they may not take me as seriously just because they go, hey, look, he's a little bit too junior. I'm not going to give him the time of day. So I usually had to call in a senior person on my team, such as my boss, who has a very deep, round voice. And so what I wanted to work on with Michael was my airflow, my pitch, my pacing, my tonality. And there's a lot of other tips and tricks because I myself also went through vocal training when I was younger, but I am at no level of Michael's. I mean, he is a professional singer. So I thought that he would have a tremendous amount of insights, could give me live feedback, work on different pattern exercises as well. And then what I can definitely say too, and I think that this definitely attributed to some of my success. I don't know if it's everything because he did say I did do the work. A lot of other things have to fall into place, but working on my presence, my vocal tone, how I carry myself, the way that I speak, and presentation was definitely affected by his training, and it was definitely for the better.
I love to hear that, dude. So powerfully said, so well put. Had you tried anything else once you had identified that as an area that you needed to level up in? That was, as far as you could see, something that was in between the kind of success that you were having and the kind of success that you wanted to have. Did you try anything else to level up your voice and presence and get them to where you wanted to be before we worked?
You know, I would like to say that I did, but I really didn't. It was just something kind of in the back of my head where I knew that this was kind of an issue, and I didn't want to make the prognosis that hey, look, my presence isn't that good. It could have been anything else out there, right? Bad market environment, maybe something went wrong, something slips through the cracks, someone pisses someone else off at the company. Because there's other things that happen, right? But what are some things that I can control? Well, certainly is one way is my presentation. And so what better way than I'm not going to try to just do it myself because I don't know what I don't know. Go find a professional. And so when I look out there, it actually came at the perfect time. Um, Basically, the tweet that I saw, it was something that I was looking for. And so when you talk about marketing attribution, who your audience is, I was the perfect audience member for this. So I clicked on it. I did a little bit more research into it, got a chance to meet Michael, thought he was a great guy. And so I was excited to work with him. And so my experience was fantastic. And I would certainly recommend it for anybody else who might be on the fence or is looking at this and just wants to level up their presentation.
Powerful. What would you say in the deals that you have and in the meetings that you were in now that closed successfully and led to these awesome back-to-back quarters? What were you noticing as different in those presentations, in those scenarios, as opposed to prior to us working together?
I would say that I was not as squirrely. I know that that's a weird adjective to use, but sometimes you can go down the path of, hey, look, I'm going to try to outmaneuver or impress my client because I know more than them. Now, that can get you only so far, right? But when you're in the presence of other executives, which is usually where a deal ends up going to, one of the things that I learned from Michael is like slowing things down, controlling my breath, putting my vocal tone into a certain part of my mouth so that way I could create a certain rounder noise. slowing my pace and cadence down, going up and down as well. There's just different little things that he can teach you that I had no awareness of ahead of time that have really helped me to redevelop my style. And now, granted, I know I'm giving a testimonial here on camera, and people are going to be listening to this, and they're going to go, "Well, do I like this voice? Do I like it?" Or, but I can tell you right now, like, my vocal cadence was far worse before this, before I worked with Michael. So that's what I would say about that.
You are such an A player in every single make and measure. Just even thinking about the way that you framed those, the way that you handled just those two questions is just, it's pure accountability, pure ownership. Dude, I love that. And for the record, dude, it's your voice. I think you got a lovely voice. Forget what the haters think. Last question for you. How has this, like, have these results, what you learned, what you picked up, what you were exploring and implementing, have they shown up or translated to areas in your life besides work?
I would like to say that, I get a lot more girls now, but I mean, I shouldn't be saying that on camera. um, I think so in a lot of ways, right? Like, it's just the way that you are going to carry yourself in day-to-day interactions, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're calling into a business to set a reservation for a restaurant. These all give you little small opportunities to hone your craft a little bit further. And I think it helps because it's going to change the way that you communicate and the way that you're thinking. Because sometimes I would say my brain moves a lot faster than I speak. So now I have to slow things down. It makes it easier for me to synthesize what I actually want to say rather than maybe vomiting all over someone. And that makes people a lot more comfortable because you have to think about the audience too. Like, how much can they take in? How much can they actually process? And so these sort of skills actually made me hyper focus on what that means for the person that's listening to me. So I would say it's affected me in a very positive way that way.
Amazing. Yeah. Your voice tells the world who you are, and now you get to show up everywhere making that impression and being in control of it. Awesome. Anything else you want to leave the people with before we wrap?
Yeah, I will say this. If you are, again, on the fence or considering doing any sort of vocal lessons, whether it be professional, more creative, etc., you just want to level up, Michael is your guy. He's fantastic. He's got the gravitas. He's got all the clout too. I mean, he's been there, done that on the biggest stage of the world. Like, opera singers are the best singers in the world. Like, we're not talking about Taylor Swift or anybody else of that ilk. These are people who are classically trained. They know exactly what they're going through and what they're working on because they know all the technical details. So he's a fantastic guy to work with. He's humble, but at the same time, like, he's the man and he knows it because he can teach you something. All my sessions were fantastic. I really enjoyed them. They were insightful. I couldn't recommend him more.
Humbled to hear that. And I'm excited for your success, dude. I'm excited to see more consecutive quarters.
I appreciate that, brother.
Quota. A players only. This is why I work with A players only, because they implement, get results, take accountability. All right, brother man, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to stop this recording now.